This is episode number 493 of the Health and Fitness Podcast by InnerFight, brought to you in association with Smith Street Paleo. Hop over to smithstreetpaleo.com and get involved in all the yummy food that is over there. So guys, if you're looking still for a big goal for 2019, then I might have something for you here. We've teamed up with Ultra X to give you a special rate on the races that these guys are organizing this year. They organize 250k 5-day races. It's a race series which are held in exotic and inspiring locations around the world, and they actually culminate with a biannual World Championships. It's super awesome, and I can vouch for this, that taking on a multi-day ultra in a far-flung corner of the earth is probably one of the greatest experiences that you can have. And now that Ultra X are making these experiences more accessible for all, it's definitely something that you should be considering for 2019. In this year, they have races in Sri Lanka, Jordan, Mexico, and they'll be adding 2 races to the series each year, with Bolivia and the Azores getting released in the summer of 2019. So if that really does sound like something that you are interested in, we have a discount code which will get you £200 off the races. You can hop over, have a look, ultra-x.co. The Sri Lanka race is the first race, which is on the 13th of April. You get £200 off using our code INNERFSL19. Go and check it out. Get involved. I'm looking forward to racing some of their races this year, and hopefully we'll see some of you guys there. Welcome back to another edition of the show, folks, and the weekly updates. Apparently you guys are really liking this. A little bit of a review of what's gone on in the last week, and also what is coming up, what you can look forward to last week. And I'm super happy. I nailed it. I got the workout right that you'd all absolutely love from last week's program. Actually got a few comments that Sunday is now more like a Thursday as far as the workout is that tough. Interesting comments, but Sundays was an absolute banger to kick it off. That 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, thrusters, snatches, and toes to bar. Everyone loved that. Well, I've got good news for you later on in the show about what's coming up this week, but I can tell you that Sunday is an absolute belter again. So you guys are going to have loads of fun. Good to see everyone back in the classes. And of course, if you are not here in Dubai and you're not following our classes, or you're not able to jump into our classes, you can still be following the workout over on InnerFight.com, and then you just put in the date. So for today, InnerFight.com/2019-01-21. That should work. If it doesn't, flip it round, and you will get the workout of the day, and you can follow it, and you can post it and tag us, and then we'll see how you compare to what's going on here. Gives you a little bit of a benchmark of what's going on. Another thing that you really liked actually was Thursday's 9-minute workout. So that was a good end to the week as well there. Thursday therapy, always an absolute banger. And I think it's going to be the same this coming week as well. We'll get to that a little bit later in the show. Other things that you needed to catch up on last week. The podcast, the most requested podcast I think we've had for quite a long time with Boz, was out on Thursday. Just hop over to iTunes or hop over to the website, InnerFight.com/podcast492. That was an awesome chat with Boz. Quite interested to see what's going on. We talk all things about the changes in CrossFit, the changes in the rules in CrossFit this year, and the fact that Boz is in probably the position of her life to qualify for the 2019 games. Trying not to put too much pressure on her, but reality says she's been the best female from Belgium for a number of years now. All she has to do is get through the Open in good shape, give an absolute crack, and she may be on the way to the CrossFit Games. Who will go with her? Maybe we should run a competition to send someone over there, get some sponsors on board. Who works for Emirates or an airline that wants to chuck in a free ticket to get people to the games to sponsor Boz? There's some thoughts. If anyone's got an idea, winning at InnerFight.com. We'd love to hear from you and make that happen. Once she qualifies, obviously, we'll take it easy for the time being. Other stuff that I noticed in the news last week. This is an absolutely incredible record that this lady has set in the UK. Imagine this race. It's a 260-mile race that took place in the UK in January. So freezing temperatures really, where she completed, Jasmine Paris, this lady, 35 years old, completed the race, which is actually from Derbyshire. If you know some UK geography, from Derbyshire up to the Scottish borders, quite brutal terrain really, 268 miles, and she did it in 83 hours, 12 minutes and 23 seconds. And people are saying it's one of the greatest stories in the sport of ultra running. Absolutely incredible what she's done. I was actually listening to something, which is a show that I'm going to recommend later on, the other day, that says that what these people are doing, a lot of people don't actually comprehend because it is so incredible. What's more incredible about this story is that this lady, Jasmine, she actually has a young daughter. And on five of the aid stations, 4 of the 5 aid stations, her daughter's 14 months old, she stopped to express milk during those 4 times, to stop mastitis. So absolutely incredible that she's done that. Another thing that's really incredible is that actually this is her week off in between her studies, where she's studying for a PhD. So absolutely incredible. Just stick into Google if you want to read more about that. Jasmine Paris and the Montaigne Spine Race. Absolutely unbelievable. She ran 268 miles in 83 hours, managing her nutrition, managing all of her rest, sleep when she slept. It's an absolutely incredible article and an incredible story. So congratulations to her. I know a lot of people picked up on that, and a few people sent it over to me this week. So that's definitely something to have a look at if you're interested or looking out for a bit of motivation and what the human body can do. But breastfeeding or expressing milk at 4 out of the 5 aid stations is just absolutely phenomenal, and winning the race. Going into some podcasts that I listened to last week that I think might be of help for you guys. I was listening to Rich Roll. It's actually an old one with Jimmy Chin, who's the cameraman, the partial director of the film that's actually sort of on a slow release schedule. Unfortunately, can't get it here in the UAE yet, but I'm sure a lot of you around the world have seen Free Solo, Jimmy Chin's new film, where they are scaling El Cap, the hardest face in Yosemite. It is absolutely unbelievable, and an unbelievable podcast with Rich Roll, and where Jimmy says that what happened out there is like a marathon runner running a marathon in an hour. It's that extreme, and people will just never ever understand it. So very interesting. Listen, Rich Roll, he's going to shove plants down your face. That's just what he does for a living, and thankfully now he's getting some better people on. He used to just have on people that love plants the whole time, which if you love plants, that's great. And they just used to talk about plants, which is interesting to a certain extent. But now he's had some really cool people on. Jimmy Chin recently, Ross Edgley recently, David Goggins recently as well. Big shout out, another podcast that I listened to last week that I found super interesting. If you are a fitness entrepreneur, or you're a personal trainer who thinks you're an entrepreneur, or you don't really care about being an entrepreneur, but you want to build a business in the fitness industry, Brian Keane, the Brian Keane Fitness Podcast, he has now launched a Brian Keane Business Podcast, and he's changed the name actually of the Fitness Podcast to the Brian Keane Podcast. Actually had a chance to catch up with Brian last week, and where he interviewed me for his original podcast, the Brian Keane Podcast, about my marathons. But have a listen to his new show, Brian Keane Business Podcast, where he's actually just sharing some information that he's learned on the way. He's built a successful online fitness business, and he's got some pretty interesting bits of information to share with people. Another podcast that maybe I'd direct you to, I've been putting it on my social media quite a lot, is the Rambling Runner podcast. This guy's super cool, Matt, Canadian guy, and got in touch with me after my marathons, or I actually sent him a message and said, do you want to speak about my marathons? And he was like, yeah, and we did about an hour and a half show, which he split on the Rambling Runner over 2 episodes. So that's quite interesting to chat to him, and actually got a load of feedback. It was one of his most listened to shows. So imagine my rambling voice for a little bit longer on his Rambling Runner podcast. If that interests you to hear a little bit more in detail about my marathons, then hop over to that. If not, hop over to the Beyond Macros. Another Matt on Beyond Macros has put my story into about 30 minutes. So that's quite cool as well. Something else that I actually shared over the weekend, a book that I've just finished reading, which I really suggest, very inspiring, by the name of a guy called Matt Long, called The Long Run. If you're looking for a bit of a sports memoir with loads of inspiration, New York City firefighter was hit by a truck bus and really had some major injuries. It actually makes my crash look like absolutely nothing. And he has done some amazing things since. He's into endurance events. His first marathon, returning from his crash after 2 or 3 years. It took him about 7 hours. So it just shows what the human body can do. And his body was really, really bashed up. But that's a great audiobook. Someone else asked me for another audiobook this week, and I recommended David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. I think we've spoken about that on the show, but that's a great book. But it is very raw, so just be a little bit careful. Hopping back over to the world of fitness and into CrossFit. Check it out. It is happening at the moment. Today is the last day of the Wodapalooza fitness event, which is in Miami. This event's been going on for quite a number of years now, but it is now under the new CrossFit laws that we have been speaking about a lot. Got a chance to speak on Thursday's podcast with Boz and her thoughts, and Andre and his thoughts. Obviously, those guys competitive in CrossFit, looking to get to the games. Wodapalooza is now what they call a sanctional, sanctioned events. Whoever wins at Wodapalooza will get a ticket to the 2019 CrossFit Games. So that's something super interesting. It's a bit of a mix-up down there. There are teams, there are male teams, there are female teams, and there are also individuals kicking around. So just stick into Google Wodapalooza. You can see exactly what's going on. If you want to track, you might remember in December in Dubai, Sam Briggs and Matt Fraser were the two that won, the male and female respectively, in that competition, and they are already on their way to the CrossFit Games, despite having a few other competitions that they're going to go through. But this is the second sanctioned competition of the, as it's called, the CrossFit Games season. So that's something very interesting to look at. And it just looks like an absolute awesome event down there, the Wodapalooza. It looks like a bit of a festival of fitness down in Miami. I'm not sure if we've got anyone from Miami that listens, but if we have, please drop us a message, winninginnerfight.com. Let us know how that competition pans out, what the atmosphere is like. It's always good to be able to recommend different competitions around the world. I personally have been to quite a few. I've been to the CrossFit Games twice and a few other competitions around the world. They're absolutely brilliant, but Miami looks like they put on a seriously good show for Wodapalooza. And of course, with those entries for the games, whoever wins first male and first female up for grabs, I think that's going to be a competition that's going to continue to grow in the years to come. Speaking of which, we're just a few weeks out now, just over a month out now from the Open, from the 2019 Open. We're going to be big on it here at the gym. We're putting a lot of effort into it this year. It's going to be awesome 5 weeks. Hop over to games.crossfit.com. Check out what's available. Enter. It's about $10 and get ready. It is a really cool time of year and a really good push for you. Staying in CrossFit, this coming week, what to look out for in the classes. We're actually giving you a chance to test yourself against last year's Open. So if you did the Open last year, then today's workout, Sunday's workout, the 20-minute AMRAP 18.1 we have put in there, gives you a super awesome chance to benchmark where you currently are compared to where you might have been last year. And you can do the workout, you can check your time, and then you can obviously go on the leaderboard and see how that would have stacked up, maybe for your age group, maybe for your region group, or maybe for both. So we're going to be putting in a few of the Open workouts from 2018 into the class program over the coming weeks to dial you guys into the Open. And if you are listening from overseas or from around the world and you're involved in CrossFit, please let us know if you're involved in the 2019 Open at your gym. It's a great time of year and a great competition. We want to hear from people. I'll give you a shout out on the show. So please mail us winninginnerfight.com or just send me a direct message over on Instagram. My Instagram, MJD_Smith. Another good one that you can look forward to this week is Thursday's workout. Similar format to last week, 4 7-minute workouts. These are going to be absolute belters. And if you're not all in on fitness and you want to have a day off and you want to come running, or if you're going a little bit more all in on running, please join us Track Tuesday, every Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. at Sports City. We'll be more than happy to have you down there Obviously not so easy if you don't live in the country. But everyone who comes down always has a good time. Looking forward to other events this week. The big one at the end of the week is the 2019 Standard Chartered Dubai Marathon, the 10K and the 4K fun run as well. I think we have almost 30 people participating this year, so that's going to be absolutely awesome. If you are one of those people that are participating, or if you're someone who's preparing for an event, it doesn't have to be a marathon necessarily. It could be a 10K, could be a half marathon, could even be a 5K or the fun run that's going on. Tune in to my Instagram this week. Every day I will be doing a 10-minute live video. There's loads of time for Q&A, and it's all about preparing for the marathon. I've got a 5-day dial-in. Some of you might remember I did it last year, and people found it super useful, so I'm just refreshing it. It's all similar stuff, but a bit fresher for the marathon this year. It'll be on every afternoon on my Instagram. You can hop on. You can ask me any question that you want, and I will try and make sure I answer it in the best way. We'll put a lot of nerves to rest. We'll talk about what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing in the 5 days leading up to that. But do come out. If you are in Dubai, please do come out next Friday. The start and finish line is just by the Burj Al Arab, just by the police college there, and it goes all the way up and down the beach road. So a great track where you can park off anywhere around there. There's going to be certain road closures. I'll talk about those in my 5-day series over on my Instagram TV, where it'll be posted as well, and Instagram Live. But you can park, you can have a cup of coffee, you can sit by the road, and you can support the thousands of people that will run the marathon. Some of them for the first time, so go out and support them, or even the 10K. Final thing, our show sponsors, Smith Street Paleo. It is the time of year you need to be on a meal plan. Let us take away all the headache for you. Let us deliver the food to your house every morning, or even to your office before you wake up. It'll be outside in a nice cooler bag. You get 2 days of food at once. Loads of different choices. There's over 25 different main courses. Yep, there is absolutely loads of choice. And you can cut it up however you want. You can have breakfast. You can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can have breakfast, lunch, and dinner and a snack. You can have breakfast and a snack. You can have breakfast, lunch, and a snack. We've got it. We cut it up in all different ways to fit in with what you do. A lot of people take our 9 to 5 offer, which is breakfast, lunch, and a snack, and then go home and eat dinner with their family, which is absolutely awesome. Takes away the headache for you guys. So hop over to smithstreetpaleo.com or hello@smithstreetpaleo.com. It's the time of year. It's always the time of year to save time and eat good food, isn't it? But I really encourage you guys, if you are into your fitness goals this year, we see more people back in the gyms, and you're not taking care of your food, then things are going to be infinitely harder. You might not get your goals because food is really the basis of what we're doing. So smithstreetpaleo.com, our show sponsors, my other company, of course, but you need to hop on it. That is the updates for this week, folks. That's been show 493. Please do hop back. 492 with Boz was an absolute banger. As you all know, she's an awesome personality and very inspiring, the journey that her and Andre are on for the CrossFit Games this year. That's all for this week. Have a great week. Any comments, suggestions, or to get in touch, winning@innerfight.com. We'll catch you next week.